A state of emergency is in place in Tasman and Marlborough as widespread flooding hit the regions overnight and across the day today, closing roads, schools and businesses. Around 60 Springs Creek homes remain empty tonight as mandatory evacuations continue in the Marlborough area, while authorities monitor the earthquake-damaged stock bank. Senior reporter Juliet Speedy has all the latest.
From the air, the extent of the flooding is evident. Towns and farmland under an immense amount of water. Nelson's Waimea River raging as severe flooding inundates Tasman and Marlborough. Nelson recorded more than 300 millimetres of rain in just 24 hours, closing state highways throughout the region.
This is at the turn-off to go to Kaiteruteri and to go to Takaka to Motueka. And at this stage, it's all closed.
Roads are flooded and many schools were closed today across the top of the south.
Most water I've seen around here. Neighbours got evacuated. It is flowing like a river.
60 homes in Spring Creek were evacuated. Others were preparing to.
You can all be prepared for it because you may not get it back at the moment.
We've been told about the evacuations further down just because of the stock bank being at risk, but we're out of the flood zone.
His brother down the road was told to leave.
So he's taking a bag to work and not sure what he's doing after that.
But he won't be going home tonight.
We'll be keeping the Spring Creek residents out overnight because this event is still dynamic. We also want to be able to check those stock banks before we let them in tomorrow morning.
Oh, there's a few slips. We won't get past this one up here though.
Where most in Nelson saw flooded paddocks, Caleb and Zeus saw an opportunity, taking their kayak for a paddle.
Know where the safe spots are, so we just headed out there. So yeah,
and
try and stay out of the fast-flowing water.
Make the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
And just take part in something that doesn't usually happen.
I've never seen it like this, ever.
Met Service says a big system moved its way up the country overnight.
As those troughs and those fronts moved up the South Island, they sort of stalled. It slowed right down over the northwest of the South Island and central New Zealand in general. And that's where they saw just this heavy, relentless rain overnight.
Oh. There's two cars in there that just didn't quite make it. And so it's not getting any better.
The Marlborough Mayor urging people to hunker down for the weekend.
People here are unfortunately a little bit familiar with flooding and everyone's responded really well. Some schools have closed early. What we've seen is people trying to keep off the road. Some employers have sent people home early, particularly where there's big groups of employees. We really appreciate that. We want everyone to get home before dark and to get home without rushing.
The rain is now expected to ease, but the risk remains, and so do the evacuation orders.
And Juliet, you're hearing from authorities that there are other evacuations possible.
That's right, Sam. Marlborough Emergency Management have issued a be ready to evacuate notice to the residents of Lower Renwick. The township there, it is again a stock bank issue. That stock bank is at risk of breaching, and if it does, that lower township of Renwick is at risk of flooding. Now, Fens and Civil Defence are in the area door knocking at the moment, showing these residents of this risk. And authorities are also reminding people in the entire Marlborough region that if they are stranded or without accommodation, that it is Stadium 2000 in Blenheim that is the Civil Defence Evacuation Centre where they can go for a bed, for a hot drink or for somewhere warm. And this is all kicking off obviously at the start of the school holidays. So sport is cancelled for most of this region this weekend. Libraries are closed. There are going to be a lot of children stranded indoors if they can even get into their homes. So a final note from me to the parents in that region, I'm sorry and good luck.